So you know me from maybe the intro earlier. I'm Victoria. I'm with Worldwide Surrrogacy. I have a law firm in the United States, and I have offices in Connecticut and New York. So if you come to the States, we can meet in either place. In addition to my law firm, I have the agency Worldwide Surrogacy Specialists. And I do a lot of international surrogacy. I have clients from Israel. Last year I was here in Tel Aviv, and I have maybe 9 or 10 couples from last year that we've been successfully matching. We have a couple of pregnancies now. We have people matched with surrogates. So not that it's taken a year. Some people didn't sign up, let's say, till July or August or even October or November. So it's a process for people to make their decisions, and then they come on board, and we hit the ground running to find you certain time. I have clients, again, from Israel, from the UK, from Greece, Spain, France, China. So I'm very well versed in international cross-border surrogacy matters, and I'm very much studying and becoming an expert in insurance issues. And I think that's a really big issue for all of you. So I am very extremely careful when I match you with the state that I match you in. I love Connecticut, not only because I live there. I'm originally from New York, but Connecticut is a really fantastic state for surrogacy, for international, for gay, for straight. Now I recruit surrogates from all over the country, any favorable state in the US, but I have lots of domestic couples that I can match in different states. But for you, there's only maybe 4 or 5 states that I like to match you in, because I have to control the insurance. We want to make sure we have a surrogate with maternity, and we want to make sure that we have a surrogate with newborn insurance, right? So we choose a state where we can get either a pre-birth order or a post-birth order. And a lot of this information is really like sort of esoteric or complicated when you're first thinking about it. But I just want to really assure you that as the process moves forward, as like, let's say we present a surrogate to you, and then we know more about her, and we know more about her insurance, it all takes on the more human component and the more practical component of who she is and what her insurance is. So I know I have a person, and I can look at her insurance policy, and I can see what it covers, and I can see if it covers newborn. See, there's different ways that newborns are covered in the States. One is that the mother, birth mother, puts her dependent on the insurance policy. So that is something that we don't want, because the baby is not her dependent, it's your dependent. So what we want is a policy that has a contractual provision for newborn care. And then we can make sure of the newborn coverage, because policy contractually provides for that. They can't deny it because it's part of the insurance contract. So you leave that to me, and also to your home country lawyer. I have connections with Victoria Gelfand. She has reviewed some of my documents. I have a relationship with Irit Rosenblum. So whoever your home country lawyer is, we'll become a team with her or him and make sure that you get what you need coming back to Israel. But I will help you, and this is something that we really stand by. So people ask me sometimes, what makes you different from other agencies, right? So I don't really know, because I don't have experience personally with the other agencies. But I do know what we do, and that we do well. And this tagline here, "We journey with you," I really stand by that. I mean, the buck stops here. I'm the owner of the law firm. I'm the owner of the agency. You have me. I'm not going to put you with somebody else. I have a team of people that I work with, but you have me. You have my email, my cell phone, the ability to communicate and consult with me by Skype or telephone, or when you come to the States in person. Or here in Tel Aviv, I have a list of times available tomorrow if you want to get to know me better. And I would love to get to know you better. So, if we could have that opportunity, that would be so really great. I love doing this work. I told you earlier, I'm a gay parent. Michelle and I have 2 children. And so I come to family building in alternative ways from a personal perspective. And I have a lot of US gay clients, gay men, gay women. I started out practicing law, doing as an out lawyer, doing a lot of GLBT work, and as time went on, I started my law firm first. As time went on, I got involved in the surrogacy area, and then the doctors got to know me, so they started to refer me straight clients, and then one thing led to another, and I became interested in matching, and people began to ask me, can you match? Can you find us a surrogate? So about 8 or 9 years ago is when we started the agency, and we started out just doing U.S. domestic couples, so we just get our plan in place and know what we're doing and see what we do right and what we need to improve on. And then about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, we started with our international clients. I think my first client was a gay male from Athens, Greece. And since then, we have done, again, as I said earlier, many different countries. So I want you to know that we do it well. We do it efficiently. We have a team of people. We're not the biggest agency, but I don't want to be the biggest agency. I want to be the most qualified agency, the agency that you can look to and trust and know that we're going to help you and be careful and be attentive and know the law. Also, the team, I was going to show you the cards, but they're not here. One of my team people is Serena, and she was a surrogate herself, and so she is a surrogate. She's our recruiter. She was a surrogate 2 times, once for a straight couple and once for a gay couple. So she really knows what it means to be a surrogate. So she's really fantastic at recruiting surrogates. She can talk to them. She can support them. She can know what they're going through. She can answer their questions. She can tell them what to expect in terms of the medical process. Jennifer is a social worker on our staff. She would become your point person. She becomes like a case manager. But we're always together. Once a week we meet. We go over all of our intended parents. We have different categories. We have people who are pregnant. We have people who are already matched and waiting for an embryo transfer. We have people who are to be matched, and what is the process, and who are the prospects for them, and what is the time frame. So we have 2 different lists at our place, because one, we have domestic couples where we have some more different states where we can, like for example, a straight married couple from the US, I can match them in Texas. Law is good for that couple. But for one of my gay couples, I wouldn't send you to Texas. So I have my international couples where I have a list where I'm like, okay, I'd like to match you in Connecticut. That would be my dream for you, because I'm there, I can control the process, I can control the legal work, I know what to do, I go to court, the judges know me. Another good state, which is near us, is Rhode Island. It's a small state, but I have a lawyer there who's just fantastic, and he's on board with knowing about newborn insurance. He can get a post-birth order, so he and I will work closely together. There are some areas of Pennsylvania. I know that there's some Israeli couples that are matched in Pennsylvania. I have an excellent lawyer there that I work with, and he will help us in Pennsylvania. New York? No, not yet. We wouldn't match you in New York. Are we good?
5 minutes.
Okay. Thanks. Yep. Oh, 5 minutes is a lot. It flies by, right? But so I'm here. I love being here. I came last year, and I was like just really having a good time last year, having a really good time this year. I've really kind of gotten into the groove of finding my way around, and I'm enjoying myself. But I'd love to meet with you in person, and I do have a list here. If you want to come by tomorrow, we can have like a half-hour session of talking more about your plans, your specific needs, who you are, what you're hoping for. I mean, obviously, everybody's hoping for a baby, and that is totally possible. The unfortunate part of surrogacy in the U.S., as you know, is cost. So we do what we can to help. Last year, I made a program up with discounts for my Israeli clients. So I have that again. So you can see where we're cutting our fees. I'm going to ask you guys to pass these out. You can see where we're cutting our usual fees to help out where possible. And you know, I understand that, and I'm sympathetic to that type of problem of cost. And so we're very careful with your money, very careful with your needs in that respect. And you know, you can trust us to do the right thing in terms of if there has to be expenses paid to the carrier, like we will err on the side of your favor. We would always be your lawyer. So people say, well, how can you be the agency and also be our lawyer? Isn't that a conflict? Well, it could be, but we never represent the surrogate. So we always make sure the surrogate has a lawyer, but never us. So we would always be your lawyer, and we would always want to make sure that the fees that she would be charging are fair and in the right range of what a surrogate should charge. And we know what those ranges are because we do contracts all the time, and we know what to expect, what would be too high, what would be fair. And where we need to protect you, like if she were asking for, you'll read about this in the book a little bit, if she were asking for lost wages. How do we protect you? So we have to make sure there are limits or a cap on those types of expenses. So I would suggest that you should have an agency. I hope it's me, but if it's not me, it should be an agency with a lawyer on board who can help you to know what the contract should be, and you're not going to incur more costs in terms of having to figure out who the lawyers are. I mean, we do charge for legal fees, but because we're doing both, we can keep the costs down as much as possible. Yeah, we have a minute for questions.
Can you just specify the ballpark figures of the total cost, including the medical part?
Yeah, so I think that I'm going to give you a range because some of it's going to depend on insurance. Some of it's going to depend on what you do with your IVF because there's egg sharing and egg banking and, or egg donor in full. So I think you have to plan on about $100,000 minimum. So that, like my agency cost plus the surrogate, everything that I do, I can probably do for about $65,000 or $60,000, maybe $70,000, depending on a few variables. Then I think your IVF is going to be anywhere between like 30 and 40, maybe for the egg donor and the IVF, making the embryos, and the different fees and costs that they have. So I think if you're looking at $100,000, you're being reasonable. I think if you give yourself a range of 95 to 120, I think you're being practical. But all of those things will fall into place, again, as we know who the surrogate is, as we know what her insurance is. And by the way, if you're going to, I'm not going to give you a surrogate that you have to take. You're going to tell me you like her. You're going to tell me she has what we need, or you're going to tell me we should pass on her and move on. And sometimes I work with your home country lawyer here, and you can consult with that lawyer, or you can consult directly with me. I really want what's best for you. I want it to work. I truly believe that you can have your baby by surrogacy. It will be a process, and you have to go through each hurdle. You have to make choices. Your surrogacy agency, your medical clinic, what you want from your surrogate. You have to make some choices. Things in the contract. If there's a birth defect, do you want a termination? Then we have to find a carrier who wants a termination. If there's, I had 2 different situations where triplets were conceived. They put 2 embryos in and one split. So they think we're done. So, okay. So just, you have to think about these things, and we can talk about them more. You can email me questions. You can meet with me in person. I can Skype with you, whatever works. But thank you so much for coming, and I hope you get a lot of information that you need.